The culture shock. I feel like we've done quite a few videos, like full-length videos that I've checked out, where somebody will give their take on living in another country and some of the culture shocks that they experience, but we've never really had like a full collection of people giving different takes, and I always learn something new. So I really enjoy these. Smash the like button. Let's dive in.
I know I'm gonna regret making this video. These are things I didn't learn from a standard American education until I moved to Europe. France specifically, because I already...
Which is probably a lot.
You guys are going to be in the comments being like, Europe isn't a country. Croatia and Serbia and the whole Balkan region used to be a country called Yugoslavia until like really recently. This one is so embarrassing.
Yeah, what year did that happen in? It was really recent, wasn't it? I kind of learned that too once I started this channel, so I'm not going to falter on that one.
I didn't know what D-Day was.
Wait, hold up. No. I don't know about that one right there.
Balkan region used to be a country called Yugoslavia until like really recently. This one is so embarrassing. I didn't know what D-Day was. I'm being for real with you. God.
She says she's being for real. All right. She seems like a nice girl. We definitely learned about D-Day, like extensively in school for multiple months and years throughout tons of different classes. All right, let's keep going.
I didn't know about D-Day and the beaches of Normandy until I actually went to Normandy, which is where my fiance is from.
You've never seen Saving Private Ryan? I mean, come on. That's a great movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. That might not be as popular over there as it is here, but it's like a massive movie that pretty much everyone has seen.
I didn't even know that France was occupied by the Nazis until I lived here. Strawberries are not grown year-round, and frankly, a lot of vegetables and fruits are not grown year.
Oh, he's like, what are you doing right now? Don't tell people that you didn't know that. What? She didn't know that vegetables aren't grown year-round and fruits? What's her name? Saldana? Saldana, it's okay. All right.
Did you know that Luxembourg is a country and not just a garden in Paris? Basically, all of the royal families in Europe are like related to each other, and they all came from this one guy, Charlemagne. And I think he just like gifted the countries to his grandsons, and that's how we got European countries. The months of the year.
Wait, the Franks, right? Was it the Franks? I watched a video on this, and they covered Charlemagne. That's not too bad though.
Year come from the Romans. There used to only be 10 months, so that's why the end of the last 4 months are like September, so 7, October 8.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I learned all about this. A fascinating subject if you guys haven't learned about it before. What is it? January is, oh gosh, how do they break it down? Each month actually is identified with a certain number. And like she said, sept is 7, oct 8, 9. Now I'm just going to go through all of it. And absolutely. December, dec 10. Interesting.
November 9 and December 10. 10 months. And then
yeah. And it's actually way more accurate than our calendar that we use now.
Randomly, they threw in July and August for Julius Caesar and Augustus. Americans are smart, I swear. I could place France on a map, at least. And despite all of this, I freaking loved my public education.
I think that probably the couple of countries in Europe that Americans could probably place on a map, most of them do know that Europe is not a country. There are some that 100% do, but it would probably be like France, Germany, and like the UK. Maybe like Sweden. Some people might be able to pick Sweden. Let's look at the comments. I'm so confused because how would strawberries or other fruit veggies be grown in winter? Okay. This person says, I'm from California. We grow everything year round, basically. It's not the same. It's a little different. European monarchs are more recently related. Most are descendants of either Queen Victoria or Christian, I don't know numerical values. What is that, 11? Denmark or both. Charlemagne is ancestors of hundreds of millions of people across the world today. All right, well, we're starting out pretty good here. I don't know if those were really like culture shocks of more of just things I didn't know. Like, you didn't know D-Day? Like, come on, that one kills me.
So an interesting culture shock or language shock about Finland is that the word for paper bag is pussy. And I discovered that this morning.
That's awesome.
When I was ordering coffee and I saw these buns that looked fresh and delicious. So I asked the barista to give me one. And she asked me, do you want a pussy? And I'm confused at first. She sees my confusion and says,
Do you say anything other than yes?
"Do you want a bag?" And I said, "Yes." So she gave me the pussy. And it got me thinking, there's a family out there, Finnish descent. One Sunday morning, they're baking some fresh buns, and there's some leftover. The dad looks at the mom and
Here comes
says,
the punchline.
"Moi," which means hello in Finnish. "Can you pass me the pussy?" And she proceeds to pass him the pussy. And he takes the buns, puts in the pussy, and they go about their happy sauna lives and live happily ever after. How cool is that?
That's actually pretty funny. That was a good one. What? Someone has a picture? What is this? Mega pussy? Mega bag. I would say, I don't know if that's real, but I know 100% it probably is real. Oh, wow. Okay. More vaguely, just bag. Optionally, small PR, medium bag. That's not how you say it. Yeah, it's probably said like way different, right? If you pronounce it correctly with 2 S's, there's nothing unclear or weird about it. Pronounce the double. So, pusai? Pusai. I don't know. All right, I just sound stupid now. All right, let's keep going along here. I love the little language quirks. It's one of my favorite things.
When I took Caleb to Sweden, I had to teach him our social rules because they are different. Number 1,
Lagom.
not too much, not too little. With food, personality, money, opinions.
My favorite. Lagom in work.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Some of Lagom is great. Number 2,
Jantelagen.
so it basically means I am nothing in law. So you have to be humble and can't be too much. You can't be too little though. That's why it's not Lagom.
When I'm
Wait, hold on. She said
Means I am nothing in law.
I
So you
am
have to be humble
nothing.
and can't be too much. You can't be too little though. That's why it's not Lagom.
when I'm in Sweden,
Okay.
it's very difficult to give somebody a compliment because as soon as you compliment them, they will excuse themselves from the compliment. So they're like, "Oh, nice house. Oh yeah, I mean, I got really lucky when I bought it, and you know, they were good to me on the price." And you just can't give compliments, and it makes it's awkward to receive compliments. Actually,
Rule number 3.
it's connected to Lagom. It basically is don't take up too much social space. If somebody talks for 1 minute, talk for 59 seconds.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, so the space thing also goes into like communicating? I mean, I know the public spaces, you know, the Swedes don't really like, they like respecting everyone's space. At least that's what I've seen from trains, buses, like traveling on the street, not getting too close, but also with talking. I could be completely
Definitely
wrong on
don't do
Yep.
double the time because
that. Don't do
everyone
double the
will
time.
move in their chair and look around and feel like, oh no, this is too awkward. Someone's taking up all the space. Being a pick-me girl, that's already existed in Sweden forever.
What's a pick-me girl? I don't know what that, I don't know. It's been a long time since I dated. Okay. She says, our cultures are definitely so much more different than we thought. Yeah, I would say so. I think the social rules of Italians is the exact opposite of all of these. I know, so wild that like the contrast is so different. I just did an ancestry test. Learned I'm majority Swedish, so I still have relatives living there. Yeah, I did the ancestry test a long time ago. I do have relatives, I believe in the UK and in Germany. I never looked them up though. Maybe one of you are watching right now. How do you have a debate? Intellectual discussions? That's easy. It's talking about yourself. That's a problem. Why did someone write, what is lagom? She just explained it. Jesus Christ. Europeans thinking of people from the United States trained to walk before visiting Europe. Yeah. I feel like that was one of Walter's recommendations when we did his video, Walter's World. He was letting all the Americans watching the video like, make sure you buy good shoes and good socks and get out there and do some walking because you're gonna walk a lot. And I was like, this is so bad. As a European that lived in California for a year, they used the word hike for the distance from the car park to the beach. Or you say trek, like we're going to go trek to the beach. My former exchange student and her mom visited Germany and told me they walked and walked and walked. Turned out it was a distance of under 2 kilometers. All right. I go for a walk pretty much every day, so I don't know what's wrong with all these people. I do, well, of course, not at the gym, like an outdoor walk outside, me and the fam. Usually a lot more during summertime when the sun's up. After eating, we'll go for a walk, but I hit the stair stepper, that's for sure.
Reverse culture shocks that I experienced as an American who lived in Europe for 4 years and recently moved back to America. The first one would be driving. As an American, I grew up driving literally everywhere. I had no option to walk anywhere from my house. I lived in a place where everything was super far away, so you needed a car to get anywhere. I thought that was normal,
Yeah.
you know, living in the suburbs, you do need a car to get places, but when I moved to Ireland, anyone who lived in the suburbs could walk to a shop, could walk to a grocery store. Everywhere was pretty much walkable, meaning you didn't need to live in the middle of a city to be able to walk somewhere. I got so used to walking literally everywhere. For the 4 years that I lived there, I did not have a car, so I would walk everywhere, bike everywhere, or take public transportation. Coming back to America and having to readjust to driving everywhere again made me feel so lazy and wonder why can other countries have such walkable places, but the infrastructure in America was built so that people who don't live in cities cannot walk to get places. The second
I think there's like a happy like medium in there somewhere, right? Like I probably couldn't walk. Where could I walk to? I could walk to the park, which we have occasionally, but it's about 1.5 miles. Not that long, but also there's not a lot of sidewalks for us to get there. If we go out of our neighborhood, I live in the suburbs as well. If I were to go out on the main road, we're like literally walking on the side of the road on a pretty fast driving road. So I think there's like a happy medium though. Definitely if you live in a larger city, you're going to be able to walk more, but yeah, car is 100% required.
thing would be quality of service, and this can be a good and a bad thing. Service in America is much faster, much more efficient, which is nice because who doesn't like that? For example, if you're going out to eat in America, your waiter or waitress will come right up to your table and give you a lot of attention, be super kind, and really engaging. The reason I say that this could be a bad thing also is because when you go out to eat in America, you feel much more rushed. Things are super quick. Your food's on your table right away. You eat, pay the check, and leave. In Europe, going out to eat is much more of a social event. It takes longer. Sometimes you're sitting at a restaurant for hours. Furthermore, a reason why I believe the service is so much quicker and more efficient in America is because service workers live off of tips typically. In Europe, they get an hourly wage. A third thing that was a huge shock to me was the lack of vacation time. When I worked in Ireland, I had 29 days of paid vacation. I knew coming to America, I would probably get less, but I thought I'd be able to deal with it. I thought it wouldn't bother me as much. I get about 12 days of vacation a year. I find that that has really negatively impacted my quality of life and my mental health. I could definitely go on about this because there's so much more, but these are like the top three.
Okay. The vacation thing. I mean, we've covered this like so many times on the channel. It definitely needs to change. I think you guys have it right, taking a little like more time off. Luckily, I'm going to be taking some time off in this upcoming year, and you guys get to see it all. I'll still be working, recording my vacations over in Europe. So that's going to be fantastic. I get 5 days of vacation. I hate it. Like, why? Why even give them 5 days? Like, just work all the way through. My family in Ireland needs a car for everything, and my family in the U.S. walks everywhere. Yeah, it's all about location, where you live at. I walked in the U.S. from my hotel to my brother's home. I got stopped by the police. I am from the Netherlands. Why would you get stopped by the police? That's crazy. I don't think I've never been stopped by the police for just walking on the street. She had to have been in like a bad area. Maybe they were trying to protect her. I have no idea. It's kind of crazy. I swear, the police won't just stop you for walking down the street. That's a wild story.
Yes, I'm crazy. I moved from Dubai to Belgium, and here's some culture shock.
I don't know if I'm going to like this video. Let's go. All right.
Moving here so far. If you have to use the toilet, you have to pay. It's actually €1. Isn't that insane? You have to pay to use a toilet? Everything is closed on Sundays. Like everything. The grocery stores, all shopping. And it's just such an inconvenience.
You say you're an American, but you were living in Dubai and you moved to Belgium. If you're an American, that you know that a lot of places are closed on Sunday here as well. Probably not as much as Belgium. In Dubai, though, they don't take Sundays off, right? Because they're not a Christian nation, which I'm not sure if Belgium is either. But you know, that's kind of where it was all implemented, right? Especially across Europe, back when it was much more religious. Sundays are kind of like the day of leisure. Whereas in the Middle East, yeah, they're not going to take Sundays off. What is it with these women doing the makeup and then talking at the same time? Like, just talk. Just talk into the camera. Tell us what you want to say. I don't want to watch you
Like,
put your
why
makeup
is
on.
everything
Sorry.
closed? Another really big shocker is that there's a huge bike culture here. Like, I thought the Netherlands was like it, but no, here in Belgium, they have sidewalks painted just for bikes. And of course, I didn't know that when I first moved here. So I'm just walking on the sidewalk and I literally almost get ran over by a bike. Like, everybody has a bike, and I'm not gonna lie, I have a bike too and I love it. And then, I mean, I know this is Europe, but I didn't think Belgium was like London. The weather
Belgium.
is so bad. Like, it's always dark, it's always gray, it's always raining, it's always cold. Like,
Shocker, you moved to Belgium and it's cloudy and dark. Dude, I
was
can't.
not expecting that at all. You know,
You weren't expecting that.
being from America, California, you know, America is such a big country, but in Belgium, if you drive 1 hour, you can be in so many different countries. It's insane to me. So in 1 hour drive, you can be in Germany, you can be in France, you can be in Luxembourg, you can be in Germany. Like, wow. And depending on where you live in Belgium, they're either going to speak
I don't know how much
Dutch
I can do
or
this,
they're
you
going to
guys.
speak French. So for example, in Brussels, they only speak French, and then you drive 30 minutes away and they speak Dutch. It's so confusing. Another shocking thing is that they don't have closets. You literally have to make your own closet, build it from scratch. So this was just an empty room and I literally converted it into my wardrobe. And it's just so annoying because especially if you're...
Nobody has closets in all of Belgium. I'm sure somebody has closets. Maybe the place you rented doesn't have a closet? I don't know. Also, it's probably not that big of a deal. Just go to wardrobe.
renting, if you're not here permanently like me, like
Why do you keep touching your hair? I can't do it, you guys. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying. How much is left? Okay, good. There's like 10 seconds left. I got the point. It's nothing against her. I'm sure she's a nice lady. It's just that shit bugs me. There are so many cultural shocks moving to Belgium as an American. Dubai to Belgium? You don't have to pay to use a toilet. Just go find a free one. Also, Sundays are alive and well in most major cities other than Bruges. Did I pronounce that right? We also speak German in Belgium. How do you like living in Belgium? I might be moving there end of this year. All right. That was a lot. Let's go to the next one.
Shocked me as an American who now lives in Italy. It is true that most Italians actually do have wine at like all meals. And I'm not kidding. Like we'll sit down for lunch and everyone's like passing out wine and I'm just like, no, I'm good. Like I'll pass. Yeah.
I'm getting so much conflicting comments on this topic. I've heard so my first initial thought is what she's saying is real, where I thought like, okay, like, yeah, they drink wine like all the time. And then I think a while ago we did a video where someone had said that and I was like, that's crazy. And then a bunch of you guys were in the comments were like, no, we don't drink wine at lunchtime, like in between work and stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not that prevalent. I'm sure it's probably somewhere in the middle, right?
I'll put it past them. They're all so healthy.
Let me know.
This one's actually so nice, but you do not have to tip. Like I got my nails done last week and it was $29, the semi-permanent or whatever. Or like when you go to a coffee shop, when you go to a restaurant, you don't have to tip, only unless like you really want to. But
kind of the exact same thing that we have here in the States. You're not required to tip anywhere ever, but it's just more common, I guess. Yeah.
They don't expect a tip ever. I swear there's no dryers
Yeah, they
here.
don't
I've only
expect a
seen them
tip.
in like hotels and maybe a few people in their apartments have them, but you basically just have to dry your clothes on clothing racks. And I'm like placing my clothes, the sheets, like on doors, like all around the house just to dry them.
On that one, I think this is more of in Italy. We've done some research on this that a lot of areas do have dryers. I will say personally that I like air drying a lot of my clothes. The dryer just absolutely like ruins your clothes sometimes, doesn't it? Like they'll fade a ton, they'll get wrinkles all over them unless you immediately, like as soon as the dryer is done, pull it out, shake it out and hang it up. I don't know. It seems like the dryer kind of ruins clothes a little bit. So I hang dry a lot of my stuff, but not all of it.
So I do not like doing laundry here.
Okay. Oh, that was it. All right, let's look at the comments. Somebody says, what's your problem with wine? Yeah, right? Okay, but I've never tipped for my nails in the US, but one time I had to because the lady forced me. It was scary. She forced you? That's kind of, I would have called the police on her. You don't have to tip because tip is included in the check. Yeah, it would be really nice. I would still tip though if I had like really, really good service. If someone really took care of me, yeah, I'd probably tip, especially like a nice restaurant. Like if you're in like a I don't know how many stars, but you're in a fancy restaurant, I'd probably leave a tip. You don't have to tip, but it's expected. I think they're talking about the US. We use dryers. You have to buy one.
I never realized how much life in the US drained me until I moved to the UK. Life in the States revolves around material things. You are constantly getting bombarded with things to buy, things to change, things to replace.
True, kind of
I know
true.
multiple people that their garage and their whole house is filled to the brim and they don't know when to stop. I really think it's because
That's
the
called hoarding.
socialization part in the US isn't really a thing that much as in Europe. For example, here in the UK, I meet my friends for coffee in the morning, we go have dinner, people come over, we always have something to do over the weekend. In the US, my plan was just to go to Marshall's and Home Goods and just buy stuff.
You know, this is like a lot of US women fall into that. I'll even, granted, my wife likes shopping too, but you know, I have to put a leash on that. We definitely, we're social though. Like, I don't know. It's such a big country. There's 330 million people. I hate being generalized, but it definitely does seem like Europe is way more social than us. 100%. I'm not going to deny that.
Things over there are just so accessible.
Oh, and the materialism. It's gotten a little bit better because like probably 10 or 15 years ago, we didn't really have the way that the media apparatus works now. So constantly, anywhere you went, there was billboards. If you watched a show, there was always commercials. Everything was very, very material. It's becoming a little bit better, but still pretty bad.
But it's just almost impossible not to do it. Work is just another beast. Because when I arrived from the US, I remember feeling ashamed of taking lunch breaks. And here, guys, that would be crazy. 5 p.m., everybody's clocking out, going home and getting ready to either do their thing with friends, family, or just staying at home and relaxing. So, yeah.
Unless you didn't finish the project, right? Totally kidding.
Yeah.
Totally.
It is crazy how life here softens you.
All right. I kind of like that take a little bit. I mean, she's pointing out some pretty obvious like differences. I bet it would be pretty weird to experience them. I will say though, the social life that she has there in the UK, I would probably have a better social life myself if I didn't have 3 little minions running around my home constantly. But we try and get them together with other people, but they're just monsters. That obsession with money leads to excessive material possessions to show everyone that you have money. It baffles me how many Americans think it's a flex, showing off that they work 60+ hour weeks and never take a day off. Yeah, there is some truth to that. Yeah, there definitely is like a work culture. I used to say it when I was younger, like when I would work a lot, I did do that like bragging thing of like, oh, I work so many hours. And I've even probably told you guys that I do as well now, but it used to be, it started, I had some self-awareness of it and saw it and was like, this is kind of gross. Why am I doing that? In the States right now, and I'm shocked with the adverts, it's so strange. Yeah. Perfectly said. Here in the UK, we live the simple life. Glad you love your new life in the UK. Yeah, me too. I'm glad she's enjoying it.
Weeks now, and one thing I've noticed is that staring seems a lot more like culturally acceptable here than in America. Like in the States, yeah, if I walk by in a clubbing outfit, guys are gonna stare, but if I look back at them and we make eye contact and they see that I saw them staring at me, they'll like look away or like look ashamed about it. But the guys here like don't gaff at all. If I see them staring at me and they like notice that I see them, they'll maintain eye contact, turn their whole head to like follow me as I walk. And it's not just guys staring at girls either. I've seen girls do it too. And I googled it and they kind of said it was like a common thing among Europe in general, not just Spain, which is really interesting. Like,
all right, the staring. She was in Spain. What is it? We go to Germany, right? The staring is at an all-time high there. I personally would stare at you, no shame, as an American. Okay, dude. That is definitely not a European thing. They don't do that in North Europe, including Germany at all. Okay, it's a very mainland Europe thing. If you go to the UK or Ireland, or I think the Nordic countries as well, we don't care. You'll be not looked at in the same way. Well, I mean, if she's in a clubbing outfit, like men are going to glance over regardless. I guess the look away and then the keep staring is going to be a little different in Spain. Also, Italy, I've heard that a little bit. Like the men are much more forward than some of the other Northern European countries, but interesting nonetheless.
Tell me if this is me being a prudish American. I just got back from Europe.
Probably.
I got sick on the way back. thanks to the boomer that was coughing all over everybody on the plane and refused to wear a mask. But anyway, I digress.
When is this? This is in September. Wearing a mask on a plane? People still do that?
So everyone smokes. We've all talked about this on here before, right? Like absolutely everybody smokes. I was in the UK. You can debate whether that's part of Europe, whatever. Everybody was smoking or vaping, especially like with drinking. We even talked to some people at pubs who were like, you know, outside smoking, and they're like, I only smoke when I drink. I'm like, yes, I've been hearing that from my friends since high school.
She has a problem with people smoking too much. I only smoke when I drink as well, but I don't always smoke when I drink. I've maybe had like 2 cigarettes this entire year, and my chocolate cigarettes, and then I go to the dance party bonanza. Just kidding.
But
let's go.
Anyway, so lots and lots of vapes, people carrying the vapes around there. They're absolutely everywhere. Vapes left in the streets, vapes everywhere.
By the way, a lot of people have vapes and smoke in the US as well. I don't know how strong it is compared to Europe, but people still do smoke, and especially vaping a lot now. But most people have moved to like just nicotine pouches.
But the cigarette smoking is crazy. We were sitting at this little restaurant outside, and there was this French family next to us. At least I think they were French. They were speaking French, and it was a French restaurant. And the mother is smoking, and she's just like blowing her cigarette smoke absolutely everywhere. It's going into the open window of the restaurant. It's going into our faces. She's like a chimney snack. It was comedic, honestly. It was like a cartoon. She was blowing so much smoke out. And, you know, as an American, I have not been in environments where there's like secondhand smoke for a very long time. I'm super judgmental about it. I admit that. I find it like absolutely abhorrent and repellent. It's disgusting. And, Jesus. You know, I'm allergic. It's gross. And my husband...
You're allergic? Okay. I mean, smoking outside of a restaurant, I think we can all kind of, I mean, if it's outside the restaurant, that's probably not that big of a deal. I don't know. Was she deliberately blowing smoke through the window? I have no idea. I don't really like the demeanor too much on this one. So
I was just like irate about it. But anyway, I'm like, listen, chill out. We're being really American. Cool your jets. They don't care as much. But what he really could not believe was that she was just blowing the smoke directly into her child's nostrils, like straight in his face. And I'm like, yeah, it's one thing to be like, oh, you know, life is shit, I give the cigarette to the baby, whatever, but
don't do that.
Are you really I know you like to smoke, but do you really not care about secondhand smoke? Is that just like the attitude? It's just like whatever? Or was this just a very unique experience, and that is not common? Like I could see if you were someone who liked to smoke and you're from a country where people still smoke a lot, but do you want your children to smoke? Or do you maybe do you see the value in like, yeah, let's not pass this on. It's something I do. This is my vice. But we don't need to carry this
is there a point here?
The next generations. Just curious. Tell me if this...
God, that was a rough one to get through. Holy shit. Everybody knows smoking is bad for them. And they were blowing smoke in their baby's face. I think you just need to mind your own business. I don't know. I just got back from Greece. It's awful. There's no getting away from it. Even in the restaurants, I used to live there and I'm from the UK, but after living in USA for years, I just can't deal with it. Do we have a bunch of Americans in here complaining about smoking? If you don't want to inhale smoke, don't sit outside. Okay. Plus, it's not like you will die from 15 minutes of secondhand smoke. I am 05. I was born before anyone cared about it. Me and my mates are fine. It's quite minor percentage that is affected. Yeah, I smoked cigarettes for, 8 years, like a pack a day. I quit when I had a kid. Quit literally, actually before that. When I met my wife, I quit smoking. All right, guys. That was interesting. It was quite a bit. I'm sure you guys can see there was a couple in there that were a little torturous for me to watch, but hey, I did it. So, all right, if you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.